referee
You're welcome to if you want
how they can finish it. Prendergast taps and kicks. Ireland take the win. They get the job done, but they have laboured to do so in Rome. It's the bonus point win that will leave them on 19 points, and now they will wait and see. But their fate, well, it could be decided in the next few hours in Cardiff. If not, then it will be decided in Paris tonight, where France, of course, will have that huge points differential. On a day we wave goodbye to Peter O'Mahony and Conor Murray, two outstanding servants for the Irish cause for a decade and more. The Italians crestfallen, threw everything at it, Donal. They come up short. Ireland get the win.
Yeah, they did. I think only for that indiscipline, Italy could well have won that game. I think it says everything that Sam Prendergast at the end asking the referee, if I kick it out, is the game over? It's not the way we would have intended on finishing this Six Nations. You have to say, hats off to Italy. Ireland found a way, but there was a much bigger hangover from that French defeat last week than I anticipated. They've won the game, but a lot of soul searching, I feel.
Yeah, the big highlight, the hat-trick for Dan Sheehan. But ultimately, it's a nervy Ireland win. 22 points to 17. Jackie.
Des, thank you. And look, the lads said there, Stephen, they got the job done just about. You know, you can even tell there, Sam Prendergast, something like asking the referee, how much time do I have to put the ball out? It just is so unlike Ireland.
Yeah, so unlike Ireland. And I think before the game we said, you know, Ireland needed to go out and put in a really dominant performance today, and they didn't. You know, it's a really sticky performance. I think, especially in the first half, Italy had numerous line breaks where they got in behind Ireland, and then ultimately their discipline yet again cost them. If they had been able to keep 15 men on the pitch for 80 minutes today, I think they would have won that game.
That's the problem though, Jamie, isn't it? It's just, you know, so many of it was Italy's errors as well that allowed back into the game. Just all that cohesiveness that we wanted from Ireland just was not there from the start.
Yeah, like it's not often you're sitting here, Ireland score 4 tries, and you're kind of looking at it going, you know, yeah, you scored 4 tries, but if Italy hadn't made a couple of key mistakes at key times, kind of similar to Ireland last week against France, you know, this game could have gone very, very differently. And we are, like, I think everyone wanted a big statement win from the team today, and we didn't quite get it. So all those kind of undercurrents, kind of themes that we were kind of starting to bubble up, that ain't going to go away now after that win.
Yeah, well, look, you can hear the roar Peter O'Mahony is getting here, because he's been shown on your screens, he's been shown on the big screen here, much like Cian Healy a moment ago. Conor Murray got a massive reception as well, but even for those 3 players, Stephen, it's such a difficult end to their careers.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but at the end of the day, Jackie, they got the result, they got the win, and you know, they'll be walking out of this stadium tonight, I'm sure, proud of what they've achieved in an Irish jersey, what they've given to the jersey, the moments that they've given us fans over the years as well, cheering them on. Like 30,000 Irish fans here in Rome, and they've all, you know, a lot of them of those guys have come to see Peter O'Mahony in his last game, you know, come to see Conor Murray, Cian Healy. I know he wasn't on the bench today, but it's absolutely an amazing achievement to be able to sign off on a win like that, albeit it wasn't exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, probably not what they wanted, probably not the way that they wanted to end their careers. Last act to get a smack on the head on behalf of the Irish team as well.
I'd say people strangely like that, if I'm honest, causing disruption. Not many, very, very few players get a chance to go out on their own terms, and these guys have got that chance, and they well deserve it. Yeah, it certainly has. It's been an incredible career for those 3 Irish servants. So many more heroes to come, including Dan Sheehan. He is our player of the match. Let's hear from him now.
Well, Dan, congratulations on the win. It was all about getting the points on the board, and you managed to do that in the end. How was that match, and how was the performance?
Yeah, it was a tough test game. You know, we knew Italy were in great form, and you know, really pressured big teams over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, happy with 5 points. We probably needed a bit more points difference, but look, we got 5 points, and it's up to the other teams now.
Yeah, was there a reason? Could you pick on it why you weren't able to get your usual fluidity in the game?
I don't know, I think they went after our breakdown quite well, and our lack of accuracy, a lot of drop balls, and Italy put us in behind a good bit where we were chasing back, having to exit a good bit. So fair play to Italy. I thought their game plan worked well and put us under massive pressure.
And for you personally, back to form and fitness, that hat-trick means you extend your lead as most tries by a forward in the Six Nations. Must be happy with how you're going at the minute.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be back playing rugby in the big games like this, and bring it down to the sort of the big Saturday at the end of Six Nations. To be here is great, but it's not up to us anymore. And also great to be sharing the pitch with three legends of Irish rugby and Irish sport, Pete, Church and Murr. It's going to be a sad day, but we'll celebrate them no matter what. So big credit to the boys, and thanks for everything that they've done for me in the last couple of years.
And you've got a relaxing afternoon now to sit back and see if England and then France can respond. Will you be watching calmly?
I'm sure it'll be on in the background somewhere. Hopefully have a pint while watching it, but look, we'll have to see what happens, and we'll celebrate our lads, or we'll see what happens.
Well, Dan, congratulations, you are the Guinness Men's Six Nations
Thanks
Player of the
very
Match.
much. Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, nice words there from Dan Sheehan. Not every day you get a hat-trick. Ireland have done their bit. They've got their bonus points. So as you can see, it takes them right to the top of the table. But of course, this thing is not done. Wales and England to come. And of course, we'll be back later with France against Scotland. And it is all very much in France's hands tonight. Bernard Jackman has come and joined us here pitch side as well, and even as you said in commentary, Bernard, you just got a sense that this was going to be one of those days for Ireland. We thought maybe at points they looked like they had the cohesion, but there was something off again today.
Yeah, look, the effort was massive, and it's 4 wins out of 5, and Italy played well, but really, if, based on what we're expecting this Irish team, what we've seen from them, they're just not at the level that they have been. But confidence in sport is massive, and you'd have to wonder, was it the All Blacks match in November that just shocked us a little bit? Maybe the Wales game away, not getting a bonus point, but little by little we seem to be less comfortable in terms of what we're trying to do and less accurate. And also you have to say, Andy Farrell is one of the world's super coaches, right? So if you put a value on that, we have missed him as well, and that's not against Simon Easterby or anyone else, but he has an ability to get the best out of these players, both in terms of their detail but also in terms of their mindset. Like, we've been very, very consistent under him. So I'm being very critical to say it's probably not where we needed to be, having won, but I think that's the levels we expect from Ireland now.
The thing is though, Jamie, right, Andy Farrell was there in November. Ireland were not perfect there then either. We would have said that we were very close to France, yet when France came here they scored 11 tries. We're a very long way off that today. So it's not just like one result, it's actually just, as Bernard says, maybe there's an accumulation of just, I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, but it comes back to the expectations that this team has enabled. Like over the last couple of years, like, they have won tons of trophies, been thereabouts in terms of if they haven't won, they're usually second. The standards they have set is massively high, and everyone has gotten very used to Ireland winning quite a bit. So, like, I got to give my credit to Italy in fairness. Like, we gave out about their inconsistency on both sides of the ball. I think their discipline was a lot better today. Sorry, not their discipline. Their defence was a lot better. Discipline let them down at key times. So you got to give them credit. But there are crumbs being left out on how you play against Ireland, and I think that is the frustrating part, and we just don't see it as an efficient side as we once saw, and that's also kind of bubbling up and being something that they have to definitely kind of nip in the bud.
It almost feels like the overriding feeling is that Ireland didn't go and win that game, that Italy sort of handed it to them on a plate in the second half. Like, just 35 minutes on the clock. They're playing a little bit of rugby around the halfway line. They've been box kicking it the whole game, and they just overplay for a split second. Before they know it, they give away a cheap penalty, and they're down in their own 22, and Ireland get a try. Then in the second half, they just folded with their discipline. It didn't feel like Ireland were such a dominant team here today. I know they scored 4 tries, but that's not what we've seen out there today.
Why?
I think Bernard's touched on it. I think confidence is low after last week when you chip 40 points at home to a big side. We've seen the Italians right behind us, getting off the line, absolutely levelled Finlay Beelum. Like, I've never seen a hit like it. Drove them back, the energy that they had by resisting Ireland time and time again, and they didn't really have an answer. But the only answer that they got was the one that Italy give to them, was the yellow and red card.
I think it also highlights, right, at the tip of the spear, at the high level here, the margins between winning and losing and winning this competition. Like, Ireland have won 4 out of 5 games and are probably going to finish third, right? The margins are very, very fine, and for a long time we've been on the good side of those fine margins. And this competition we haven't been, and that's because I don't think we've been as efficient with the ball when we haven't been as slick. But it just highlights the margins. Like, they're not that far away from it, but they're enough at this kind of high-edge sport that if you're on the wrong side, it just doesn't go your way.
I think we've seen over the 5 games that Ireland they're not playing the type of rugby that they played previously, and some of that's down to skill execution, but also I think we have to say it's the first time in a long time you've had the main feeder Leinster playing a different way than Ireland play. Like when Stuart Lancaster was there was different wrinkles to it, but it was a similar mindset, and the players were getting chances to execute 4v3s, 5v4s regularly. There was an ethos around playing. Now Leinster become a very good kicking defensive side, and they have the power to go into the 22 and ground and pound, which maybe Ireland don't. You know, like Ireland didn't have they'd muscle over Italy at the maul, but not in general play. And whereas Leinster tend to, we'll see what happens later on in the year. So that's the challenge for Ireland now. You've got so many players from one province, and they're playing a different style than has worked for you at international level, and that's something for Andy Farrell to figure out.
Can they adapt like that now, Stephen? Because they've gotten used to Andy Farrell. They understand. They have a cohesion. They have a set play that has been working over all these years. If they're to do what Bernard is suggesting and maybe move even slightly, even a 20% degree towards that, it is a big shift that a lot more players are going to have to get used to.
Yeah, it is a big shift, and do we have the strength and depth to be able to get that shift? But I think teams are going after us a bit more. I think defensively they're getting after us, putting under much more pressure, getting line speed, and I think our skill set hasn't been as good this Six Nations. The amount of bad passes that we had, we know with 47, I said before the game kicked off today. So there's a change in the guard here. There's 3 lads that are finishing their Irish careers and moving on. There next to be a next wave coming through. Do we have that? Well, Andy Farrell and the rest of the coaching staff are going to have to give guys opportunities over the next year, and we'll soon see, Jackie.
Yeah, it's interesting even just watching them coming behind.
Yeah, we mightn't be euphoric, but to be fair, the travelling Irish fans,
it's where we won. Are right in front of us.
It's where we won with 10 tries.
Yeah,
but I think I think everyone's standing around because of, like, they've won 4 out of 5. Yes, they've all come here for Paddy's weekend. The guys have delivered a win. Most important. But I think the most important thing is all the family and friends are over here. The players are coming over to the people who are supporting them. Know the sacrifice going in, and most importantly, know the sacrifice that those 3 lads have done over 230 odd different caps over 10 plus years, and I think everyone here is taking a moment to appreciate 3 absolute legends.
Yeah, which is absolutely fair, and you have to say the Italian team have stayed out here to enjoy this as well, and they're right down here in front of us. It's very rare that you get to be this close to where the families are, actually, Stephen, and one thing even we noticed when we came in, we were like, that's such and such that's such and such that, because you do see them, but these are moments that, particularly for these 3 players, as Jamie has so perfectly said there, these are moments that they will remember for a long time, whatever about the result.
Absolutely, and the 2 lads can echo this. You know, my family, Jamie's family, wives, partners, they travel around, they are part of it, they are part of this big group, and they do have such an impact on the lads' lives, both on and off the pitch. You know, they're the ones that have to live with them most days and pick up their washing and put the dinner on the table some nights. So, like, it's a brilliant occasion. They're here, they're savouring it as well. I'm just glad that they got the victory.
Yeah, and it lasts longer than when they're here playing. We met Alan Quinlan's mum yesterday in the airport, and she's
a woman still giving you a good
She has a night Wednesday night with a load of other mammies from when Alan played for Ireland and Munster, and that's lovely. You know what I mean? The fact that people make friends and they stay friends longer than when they wear the Irish jersey.
Yeah, and look, to be fair, credit to the Italians, because actually, funnily enough, we're talking, Bernard, about Ireland winning 4 out of 5 games and everybody being a bit down. The Italians won 1 game, and you look at the reception that they get from their fans, because there's a recognition that the Italians have turned a corner. They've played some great rugby this tournament, and yes, maybe they don't have the results like what Ireland do to show for it, but they contributed to this today.
Yeah, and look, they've been under knees for a long time. I questioned whether they were adding any value to the competition, but for a couple of years under Crowley, obviously on the back of Benetton before it went pear-shaped, and now under Quesada, they were more than competitive last year, and they showed today they could score some amazing tries. I mean, like, some of their individual X factor is outstanding, but they need to sort out their discipline and be more consistent defensively.
Yeah, well, look, they have definitely played their part in what was a nail-biting finish, that is for sure. We have